so we're back with episode 3 of Life with Albinism Podcast. Again, I'm Dale.
Jason. I'm Avery.
And today we have a special guest with us today, and we're going to let her introduce herself and tell her about, and have her tell you why she's here today. And also, first, we just want to give a thanks to everybody for sharing our video and for liking and commenting and sharing it to over 350 people. I don't even got that many friends on Facebook. So I'm actually glad that everybody's sharing it and commenting and everything. So let's get started. We'll go ahead and introduce our guest and tell the people why you're here and about yourself.
My name is Jennifer Renée, and I am...
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Indiana. I'm from Indianapolis. And I am a visual artist, a makeup artist, a performing artist, and a jump rope enthusiast.
I gotta know what that is.
A jump rope enthusiast. Well, basically I'm a former jump rope athlete when I was way young, like decades ago. And
Nice.
now I coach. I coach and I do instruction for jump rope with a group that's called Double Dutch Empire, and we perform around New York.
Wait, so you actually teach people how to jump rope?
Yes.
That's dope.
There's like an entity for that?
Yes.
Nowadays?
Actually,
Yeah.
they have like a world championship.
I was just
Oh,
looking at
world
that.
champion?
Yeah,
A world championship for what?
for jump rope. It's like
But I mean, how do you win the world championship of jump
like they have
rope?
Who
different
jumps the
events.
longest?
There's speed.
Who-
Yeah,
Who jumps?
there's speed jump competition. There's like performance where they do all kinds of tricks and
Yeah,
Oh, like
seen that.
backflips and all that?
things
Yeah.
like that. I don't do the backflips, but I do like the basic
Oh.
stuff.
I thought
I
it was
wish-
just
I
like
see,
who
like-
jumps the longest.
Yeah,
when
they do
jump
have
it
Right,
up.
like who
Yeah.
lasts the longest without falling or something?
They do
Like, I
have
don't know.
they do have like the longest double unders or the longest.
Nice.
Yeah, if you go without missing and things like that.
Okay.
It is a sport.
Okay.
Good
And
to know. Good
what
to
brought you here today?
Well,
You-
I was invited to speak about albinism and relationships, dating. So I'm here to share a few thoughts and my own experience.
Okay, so I think we should start off with you as the guest. So tell us, how has albinism affected your dating life, affected your relationships, and starting from early childhood till now in adulthood?
Early childhood, I didn't really date anyone. I didn't have any dating experience probably like until college.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
When
why, but not to cut you off, but why is that? Why do you feel like you didn't have much of a dating experience as a child?
Well, I felt like where I was, like the people surrounding me had a certain view of albinism and a certain attitude towards it. Because, later on some guys told me, I thought you were cute in high school. It's like 10 years later. And they're like,
Yeah.
but I was afraid and I didn't know, like, how to date a woman with albinism. Like they expected to be so different.
Yeah.
Or they'd say, I don't know how my family would react. Or
See, I've gotten that too.
Yeah.
they're worried about their friends. Like, they're worried about everybody else. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So, yeah, I never was, like, asked out on a date or anything until I was in my 20s. And then I was married, and I had 2 children. I'm divorced. And now I'm dating someone who has albinism. So.
That's dope. That's nice.
Now, before we get into your
Goals.
current relationship, before we get into your current relationship, I do want to say, like, I've experienced that too, where, like, early on in childhood, there were some times where I would meet a girl that I like, a girl that would actually tell me, like, oh, you're really handsome, but I don't know about dating you. You know what I mean? And it would simply be because the albinism was like that hindrance, because you look so different. You look much different than the normal person. So naturally, they don't know how, people are going to look at them and things like that. They may not want all that attention
on them.
on them.
Yeah, so.
What do you say about that, Avery?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I forgot. It was definitely like hard growing up with albinism. Not hard. Well, yeah, it was hard, but dating wise, same thing like she said, they would be concerned about what other people think.
Right.
That they wouldn't give it a chance. And, for all they know, we could have been like the perfect ones for them. But, since they were so concerned about other people, they didn't stop to like give it a chance. And for some time it did bother me. But, growing up, it was like one of those things where, my brother always told me, like, the worst that someone can say is no. At least you went out there and tried anyway, so.
What's your experience like?
My experience dating, I would say I didn't really date anyone until I was in high school. I didn't really care for dating in middle school. It was like, oh, you're cute, but nobody really dates. Those aren't real relationships.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not real relationships, but it's still you get your first relationship, puppy love or not, in like middle school. So how was yours?
It's not important in high school. But
all right, well, tell us about your experience in high school then. Like, did having albinism play a factor?
I don't think so. I don't think I had just as much difficulty getting a girlfriend as any other person in my high school.
Yeah.
Really?
I believe so. No, everybody gets no.
Yeah.
Everybody goes after the prettiest girl in the class,
and
they get no.
Definitely.
See, another thing that I also wanted to say about it is that although it may hinder your dating ability a bit by having albinism, but it also is a good thing because it acts as that filter to filter out the people you wouldn't want to date anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So if somebody does date you and you have albinism, you know that they're not superficial, they're not shallow, and they may not care what other people think around them.
Yeah.
So the fact that it would make some girls hesitant to date me early on in life was a good thing because it filtered out, well, that wouldn't be the girl that I would want anyway if she was going to feel some kind of way for being around.
I mean, there's another side to that, too, because I would often get approached by guys who felt like I should be appreciative that they're even speaking to me.
You know what? No, that's so true. No, listen. No, for real, that's so true because it's like, think about it. Now, for us as guys.
For guys, because we're always the ones approaching them.
Yeah.
Right. So for us, what it would be, though, is what I've noticed is that women would approach me out of pity and would feel like, oh, you're the albino guy, so I'm just going to act extra nice to you or
I did get that one
flirt with you just to be nice because you have
one girl in
albinism.
junior high school.
It's like out of pity, I'm being nice and flirting with you. That's how girls work.
Yeah.
Jennifer.
Yeah, I think her name was Jennifer.
That's how you can't remember
Jennifer. Yeah. And I had this mean crush on her. She would help me with my work, and and I would like flirt here and there, because I'm just a flirtatious kind of guy. And I asked her one day, I was like, yo, I really like you. I asked her, like, would you want to go out with me? And she was like, she gave me the, and I was like,
I gotta think about that. I gotta think about that.
Like, why you say that right now? I was mad as hell. She was like, I would date you, but and I was like, there's always that fucking but.
Right, and you kind of subconsciously know what it is.
Yeah, and I was like, here we go. And then I was like, all right, so what is it? She was like, I would date you. She's like, but you're not black. And I was like, what are you talking about? My grandma's black, And she was like, no, but not like black, you're not like black. And I was like, all right, I feel you. And I was so hurt. And I went home and I told my grandma about it. And she was just like, that's all right. Fuck that bitch.
So now my question to y'all is, have y'all came across those situations where people are extra nice to y'all just out of pity because you have albinism? So they're like, sometimes you kind of get confused if they're flirting because they like you or if they're just being extra nice because you have albinism.
Well, I guess it's a little different than that. It's the guys talk to me and expect me to just be, to want to interact with them because they think, I have no chance with anyone else.
Yeah. Right. Like you're supposed to be appreciative that he's hollering at you.
I'm like, no, I'm not just interested just because you're speaking to me.
Yeah,
why would I? And it's usually these people that are bums on the street or something. I'm like, whoa, this is way below my standards. But you really think you have a chance?
That's crazy.
But because I have albinism, they assume that no one would want me or something.
Yeah.
Right, and they would probably think you're easier.
Yeah, that's just stupid.
Okay, so now you were talking about being in a relationship with a man with albinism right now. So tell us about that. How's that relationship going? And then give us the perspective of what things are like when you guys are outside together.
So we've been dating for about a year,
That's
and we met online. So a little different. And he lived in New York, and I lived in Baltimore at the time. So we were visiting each other, just getting to know each other. And it was kind of different because when I was younger, I said I would never date a person with albinism because I had this different perspective back then, mainly because I had this fear of having a child with albinism. But that's changed now because after meeting so many people with albinism, I realized not everybody has the same experience that I had, where I just felt like I wouldn't want my child to go through what I went through. But, even my boyfriend, he had a different experience growing up where his sibling has albinism, and a lot of his friends that he went to school with have albinism, so he was always surrounded by other people, while I never knew anyone else with albinism. So for me, it was just this whole fear of knowing other people with albinism and going out in public and being seen with them and things like that. So what we get a lot is people stop us and want to take our picture.
Oh, wow, nice. Yeah, that's a little invasive right there. Like,
even when I'm not with him, someone asked to take my picture on the way here. It happens every now and then. I've been asked to take my picture in the dairy aisle of the grocery store.
See, I've gotten that, but that's when I'm like out the country. Like when I'm like in Egypt, people were like, "Oh, can I take a picture with you? Where are you from?" I get that there, but here in New York, never.
Yeah, but when it's two of us, two or more, it's like,
I mean, me and him, we get it when we're out, like, in the grocery store. Like, they approach us, not picture-wise, but, like, they come up and, like, they ask us, like, "Oh, my God, y'all twins, y'all got to relate. Y'all look so awesome." And they just, I guess they love that, that they... Yeah. Two albinos together, it's very rare to see. So,
And like one time we were at the store and we were like checking out, and the cashier was like, "Oh, you guys are brother and sister?" I was like, "Oh, we should just make out, right?"
So does it bother you when people stare at y'all and ask for photos and all that?
I don't think I notice it as much here.
Yeah, I never noticed it.
I think now we're in an age where everybody's in their phone all the time. They don't notice anything going around them. So,
very true.
But in my hometown, it's like everybody was always staring. So, like my previous in my marriage, when we went to Walmart, and my ex-husband doesn't have albinism, but when we went to Walmart, everybody was there, especially black women. Because they're like, "Oh, it's a black guy with a white girl." My ex-husband would be like, "Why are they all looking?" And I don't know if it made him uncomfortable, but he would get mad. Like he would get upset that people were staring. So.
Yeah, see, I never noticed that. Like, whenever I'm out with my girlfriend or something like that, and we could be holding hands, and people would be staring at us, and it would take for her to tap me and be like, "Hey, you see them people over there staring?" I never noticed it. And it's not because I'm distracted or nothing. It's because I don't care. So I don't
see as well. That's why.
I can't see, nigga. I can see. I just don't pay attention because I don't care. Like, I'm tunnel vision.
Like me and my ex before. And she's like, "Oh, look at those people over there." We were out to dinner, and there were some people like across from us, and she's like, "Oh, she's trying to take like a picture of us."
On the sneak tip?
Yeah, she's like, look at her with her phone trying to sneak a picture. And she would point it out every time whenever someone stares at us.
And you wouldn't notice it.
I would never notice that.
Right, see, that's the same way I
guess I'm just used to it because people stare at me all the time. People stare at me on the train, on the bus, wherever I'm going. So it doesn't bother me.
But I think I've gotten
for her, she
at times it does bother me. Like yesterday, we was coming from the gym, me and my boy, and walking down the street, and I swear, like 2 blocks straight, everybody was just like, "What is that? What? Who is he walking with?" So like, and my boy was like, "Yo, like." One more person stare, like he would get offended for me. He was like, "Oh, they stare again, I'm gonna punch somebody in the face." I'm like,
and that's how Avery is, yo. Like, whenever I'm out with Avery if someone stares at him, he's on them.
Yeah,
like, yo,
so I'm
looking
very
at, nigga?
observant.
And I'm just like, yo, Avery be ready to fight a nigga for staring. And I'm not like that, you know?
I do it with him. With me, I don't care. But like when it's me and him, like I feel like, you know what I'm saying, I gotta be like, like over the time, you know? So
right, like Avery will catch stuff before I ever do. Like we be on the bus and somebody will say something like, "Oh, them niggas is white" or something like that, and Avery will be like, "Yo, what you say, nigga?" And I was like, "Yo, I didn't even hear." Like, I'm confused. Like, what's going on?
We was on a bus one time. It was me and him, and the guys right next to us. They was literally sitting right next to us.
Literally sitting next to like we on this couch.
And he was and we was talking, and he was recording. I peeped that he was recording, but like Dale was, you know, oblivious. He didn't care, like, you know. So, and they're laughing, and I'm like, I had to stop there, and I was like, so what happened? He was like, well, what? I was like, what you mean, what? You know what happened? Like, what are you doing? Like, he's like, I didn't do anything. I was like, you don't think I hear you? You dead ass though? Like, he's like, oh, I was talking to. I was like, yeah, okay, all right. So keep talking then. He didn't want to talk no more. I was like, oh, all right.
And they didn't say nothing else.
He didn't say nothing.
Nothing.
The dude got off the bus, left his friend there. I was like, oh, what happened? Y'all thought y'all was joking, right? What happened? Like, I want to hear a joke now. Like, but yeah, it just pissed me off. Like when you catch somebody and they know you caught them, they try to like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. What is this all coming from? You know.
Right. But guys, we gotta get back on topic.
Right. My bad.
Yeah, we did kind of drift a little bit. We was on till we drifted a little bit. All right, so you were talking about you and your husband and the attention that y'all get when y'all outside in public. I'm sorry, ex-husband. Well, forget the ex-husband because he was regular black, right?
Oh, yeah.
Regular black.
We want to talk about
he was light skinned.
Back to the guy that you're dating now with albinism.
Yeah.
So what is the attention like when you guys are out? Like, or are you guys both like how we just stated, where it's like y'all don't even notice it, y'all don't even care?
I don't think we notice it so much, but lately, well, because we got pranked by 50 Cent. So every time...
Yo, that was you on the video? Yo, I saw that video. I swear, listen, hold on. I gotta talk about this. I swear on everything. I was looking at a video. It's this show called 50 Cent something. 50 Central, right. And it's a random show where he pranks people. And I'm watching the show, right? And he goes up to this albino couple, and he goes up to the girl, and he kisses her on the cheek. And he's like, yeah, girl, I miss you, how you did it in the bedroom. And the boyfriend is like, yo, what? Her boyfriend really stood up and was like, yo, what? How you know her, 50? And then the 50 started like roping on her and stuff like that, and was like, yeah, that thing you do with your tongue, I need you to do that again for me tonight. And then her boyfriend was just like, yo, I can't believe this. And I remember when I saw that video, I noticed that both of them were albino, and I sent it straight to my sisters. I sent the video to my sisters, and I was like, yo, look, 50 Cent pranks this albino couple. I did not know that was you, though. I'm dead serious. We'll show y'all the video after that. Well, I'm telling you, it was 50 Cent. That nigga was like, yo, you work your thing with your tongue and all that. And she's playing along with it. I guess she must have... Wait, first, how did that even get set up? Like,
well, we set it up, casting, set that all up for me to...
But how did they contact you, or did you contact them?
They were texting me. They said, show up here.
Oh, did your boyfriend, husband?
No, he didn't know. And mind you, 50 is a big nigga.
Yeah.
So her husband was looking so intimidated when it happened. He's just like, and then he kind of had like that hopeless look, like, well, I can't do that.
Yeah, it's 50 Cent. I can't do
that.
Yo, I cannot believe that was you. That's crazy.
That's usually what they notice him. I don't think about the albinism, but they're like, oh, you was on 50 Central.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, they notice him. Wow. They don't notice me when I'm out, but
they notice him. Small world.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. How long ago did that happen?
That was a few months ago, probably around September. Yeah, it's like late last year.
Nice. Okay. So now, talk about the difference from like early childhood to now. Like, dating with albinism's gotten a lot better. You would agree?
What, for me or for you?
For you.
Well, I mean, like I said, I haven't really had too many relationships because when I dated the first person I dated, I married him, and we were married for like, actually we were only married a year, but we were.
And y'all got divorced after a year?
Yeah, and we had 2 kids like before we got married, so we were together for several years, but.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and then after him, I didn't really date anybody. I mean, I did talk to a few people, actually a few guys with albinism, but
really?
Yeah.
Like, relationship-wise?
They were all long distance. Yeah, I mean, it was leading up to relationships, but then it wasn't like I really, then you realize, these people all have their own, personalities and things don't match. I mean, because at first I was like, well, I'd rather date someone with albinism because they can understand me, the vision and everything like that. But then you have to find someone with albinism that you can relate to, beyond the albinism.
Right, beyond that.
Yeah, they're still just another person, just like anyone else. So, but yeah, then I met my boyfriend, and we get along really well. So, we both make each other laugh, and that seemed to bring us together.
Now, I noticed early on you mentioned that you were skeptical about dating another person with albinism because you didn't want to have a child with albinism.
Yeah.
Talk more about that. Like, how did you change that mindset? Because now you're like, okay, I don't mind that now.
Well, I think it just come with meeting other people with albinism and learning about their experiences, because my main fear for my child was, if I have a child with albinism, was that, they would have a bad experience growing up, and I didn't want to put them through what I had been through. But then I met people with albinism from all over the world, and they all have different experiences, and I think it really just depends on your environment and your community and how people around you support you, or if they don't support you, that can really affect your personal experience having albinism.
So as of right now, you wouldn't mind having a child with albinism?
No, I wouldn't.
What about you guys?
Me?
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind at all. I actually embrace it. So, I mean, because, I feel like we all been through our different shares, of growing up with albinism. So we know, what to do, what not to do, how to handle it. So they're going to have a better grasp on the idea of growing up and see how, like, mom and dad, they deal with it like this. Maybe I should deal with it like this. Because, as a kid, you want to do and imitate your dad, or at one point in time, your parents are your role models, So depending on how they see you, deal with it, they're gonna be like, oh, well, he deals with it pretty good, so I'm gonna deal with it pretty good, So that's what I think of.
See, now with me personally, the only thing that I would mind about my child having albinism is just the vision problem.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Other than that, I actually would like it, because I feel like having albinism makes you a lot tougher. It makes you a lot more realistic to the people around you in life.
Yeah.
It filters out a lot of people you don't want in your life.
Yeah.
So I would want it, but other than the vision problem, that's the only thing. That's the one reason why I would prefer my child not to have albinism, is just because I want them to have perfect vision and be able to drive and things like that. Although I know some people with albinism can drive, but I would just rather my child not have the
car.
There it comes. Real.
I mean, there's a
That's
lot
true.
of advances in vision stuff now that I wouldn't feel so afraid for my child with albinism, their vision and everything. So, and I've also met some families where the whole family has albinism.
The whole family?
Really?
I know
That's
at least
rare.
two,
That's very
at least
rare.
3 families where parents and all the children have albinism. So.
Well, being that your boyfriend has albinism, y'all probably gonna have a child with albinism. Well, if y'all plan on having a child, I don't know if y'all are.
Both parents have to have the same type of albinism. So you only find out once you have a child if you both have the same, or if you get genetic testing beforehand, then you would know if you both have the same type.
Now, when you say the same type of albinism, can you explain what?
So there's like all those types of OCA, OCA 1, OCA 2, OCA 3, OCA 4, OCA 5, OCA 6, OCA
There's
7.
that many?
Yeah, there's that many.
See, I didn't know. I thought there was only 2 types.
Well, there's 2 main types of ocular albinism, oculocuteness albinism, but oculocuteness albinism has several different genes that it shows up on. So if you both have the same gene that's causing the OCA, then your child would have albinism as well. But if you both have different types, then your child would be born with pigment. But they would be carriers. So your grandchildren might have albinism.
Yeah.
Their partner has has the gene. So it's all genetic, and everything has to match up. But
Okay. See, I didn't even know. That's
I didn't know there
crazy.
was that many types.
yeah, we could all have different types of albinism.
Yeah, so you just...
We definitely got a different type from Jason. His is just... His is so raw.
Clean.
Like,
His shit is clean.
His type is like the purest form
Word.
possible.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Listen, my facial
grade
hair used
A.
to be your color when I was a kid.
When I was a kid, you had facial hair as a child.
No, I had a beard since high school. I didn't have the beard because I always cut it, but I had the goatee in high school. But, it used to be that color. It started to develop brown over the times. But, all right, so in
I
close...
think my little peach fuzz was always brown, you know what I'm saying, when I was like 14.
Well, I've heard that there's certain types. There's one or a few types. I'm not sure. I don't know all the specifics, but the hair color is like based on body temperature. So the different parts of your body are like different temperatures. So that's probably why the hair care is.
Oh, so you're cold as hell?
It's not that. It's
ice.
the different types of albinism. The pigment is being produced in different ways because there's like different. It's all like really like biology.
Right.
Stuff,
Okay.
right? But there's different pathways of pigment.
Mm-hmm.
So some types of albinism is like. I don't know. The way it's produced is different than the other different types of albinism. So that's why.
I gotta look this up. I feel smart as hell with her right here.
I mean, I've been researching this stuff like since I was like 15.
You know what's crazy? I didn't even once because growing up you didn't really know you had albinism until someone told you or until you got that stare multiple times.
I didn't notice until school started.
Yeah.
Around your family have known you for
exactly.
years.
So they're not gonna treat you like an outsider.
Yeah.
But it's the outsiders that let you know, like, yo, you're weird.
I remember this kid, I was like, "Are you black or white?" I was like,
"Excuse me." What did you just say?
I was like, "Whatever do you want?" So yeah, that's a shock.
So in closing, I think we all agree that having albinism might have definitely hindered the dating and relationships early on in life, but it gets better as you get older.
Yes,
and
it
gets better.
It definitely does.
People see you as unique and different than others.
And you embrace it,
Yeah, and I think
so.
now that there's so much more albinism awareness than in the past, like increasingly, I mean, it's still not, it's not to the point yet, but it's getting there, but more people are being more understanding of that and curious to learn more.
So I think the last question for you, for the guys here, because she pretty much answered this, would you be comfortable with dating a girl with albinism? Racist against his own kind. That's I ain't saying no. Good Lord.
I might.
Yeah,
it's about the personality.
Okay, so the personality's good and everything. Would you date a girl with albinism?
If the personality,
is she bad though?
Word.
See, that's the hard part because I don't meet a lot of girls with albinism that are like sexy.
What a certain type that's just different than.
Right. Everybody got their own type. What about you, Avery? Would you date a girl with albinism?
I'm not gonna say no. You feel me? Like, I try. Yeah.
Why y'all hesitating so much? Y'all got albinism. Come on.
Like how they see it as different, we see it as different.
Yeah.
We're gonna get more stares.
And you care about
that? Like when you first met your husband or whatever, like how was it? Like did you?
Well, I think by that time I was used to being around a lot of people with albinism.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually met him through his sister. sister.
Oh, you see, you had other albinos.
Right. And
It was only me and him growing up. You feel me? So
for,
I didn't see anyone else with albinism.
Yeah, his
So
sister's
dating-
a model, DeAndre Forrest, and she had a event for albinism awareness. And he saw me in the pictures. He was like, I want to meet her. So,
Nice.
yeah, that's how I met him. But, I've been around, I've been to the NOAA conferences and all that, met lots of people with albinism everywhere. So
You went to the albino convention?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I've been 3 times.
Oh, wow.
We was actually thinking about going.
Yeah,
He
we
always
should go.
talked about it, but I was like, I ain't going to that.
It's a really cool experience because you get to see all kinds of people from different
yeah. But, lately I
See
have
your
been thinking
platinum
about...
hair and platinum blonde hair.
Yeah.
So lastly, give the people your social media and how they can contact you.
Bow.
Things like that.
Oh, okay. So you can find me everywhere. Renée. Facebook official page is official J Renée, and on YouTube, Avery Style 411. That's it.
I'm about to subscribe to you right now.
All right, so that's the end of today's episode. End of
Follow,
episode 3.
share.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're trying to give her a shout out.
Yeah, go do your shout outs, girl. Do your shout outs. Hey, y'all mean?
All right, so that's the end of episode 3, and we'll see you for the next one.